Before we start the official brunch, I want to thank everyone for coming. We have a wonderful turnout, more than I could have ever expected, and I thank each and every one of you for coming and making a trip to come up here, and I hope you find it as enjoyable as I am. I have, my family have been a member of St. Peter's for well over 67 years. And it's been a privilege to have known so many of the rectors, from Father Onadonk to Father Rice on down, and to see the transformation and growth. Thank you for coming, and I hope that your hearts are filled with the fellowship that is the special source of St. Peter's community. You've been all sharing heartful memories today. I hope that you have enjoyed yourselves, and this continues for the next legacy of 125 years. That's a very important part of St. Peter's, and if you look at where we came to where we are today, and I hope that it'll continue for another 125 years plus. Before we start to eat, I would like Father Mike to come up and say a prayer.
Just like to second that, all the work that's gone on these past over a year, and especially as we ramped up for this past few months, for Pam Bayard and for all those that she mentioned on the 125th Anniversary Committee. Thank you. Heavenly Father, we bless you that you've gathered us all here today. We thank you for all the memories we're sharing and all of the wonderful people that have served at St. Peter's over this past 125 years. For all the priests who served as rectors, associates, interims, for those that have been gracious enough to be with us here today. We bless you for all your people, so many people throughout the years that have given their time, talent, their treasure to the building up of this community here in Essex Fells and Caldwell and Roseland. And for all the thousands upon thousands of people over the years that have been touched by the presence of our church here in this county and this community.
And as I think all of you who know St. Peter as well, know that this parish has its own distinctive signatures, its own distinctive flavors of soul and parish. One of the things I tried to articulate when I was here as interim rector was that this is a parish of mutual support, care, and concern. There's no question but that the heart of this parish is a kind of truly mutually supportive heart. It's embodied in things like the health and healing ministry. It's embodied in things like the vitality of the youth ministry, but not, as I hope you realize, not all parishes are so blessed. When I came here, there was a good deal of contention over a number of issues, but the soul of the parish triumphed in that people were willing to be, to let that cooperative dimension reemerge. So my prayer for you is that exactly that continues to grow.
I was not born into St. Peter's, but St. Peter's very much formed me. You and David St. George, who was the rector at the time that I was ordained, and I was ordained to the priesthood at St. Peter's when I'd been here 6 months at the time, in January 1986, when I was ordained. I am thrilled to be here. It is wonderful to see so many faces, and now that I have celebrated a recent milestone birthday, which I will not name, I discovered that somehow those names don't always line up with the faces, so I'm really glad that we are all wearing name tags. Thank you very much. That little story about the golf cart, here's a couple of details. Much to David St. George's horror, I discovered one day that St. Peter, this is St. Peter in the pulpit, that lovely carving of St. Peter, was affixed to the pulpit with only 2 screws, one through his backside and one through his feet. And so Arlene Lookup and I, well, actually I can't blame this on Arlene. I think I have to take a little responsibility for it. We fashioned a putter, which was St. Peter's putter, and put it in St. Peter's hand, which otherwise was, blessing people. So now he's got a putter in his hand. And I made a little thing so it would get anchored on top of the golf cart. And then we put a cape on the back of the golf cart. And our job at the golf tournament was to ride around and give out free drinks and keep the golfers happy. And the drinks were free. But we decided that we put this cape on St. Peter. And in the tradition of ethnic festivals and parades and things like that, we told the golfers that they had to pin money on the cape in order to get drinks. So I want you to picture out here, and this would have been the last time that I was here, picture a golf cart flying down the fairway with St. Peter on top of it, with his cape blowing behind with 10, 20, I don't know, $50 bills firmly affixed, fluttering in the breeze. So that's the St. Peter story. But the best part of it was the look on David St. George's face when he saw the golf cart and St. Peter coming. He didn't speak to me for 2 days. And when he finally did, he told me he was this close to firing me. And he then made sure that St. Peter would never leave the pulpit again. So the only reason I can tell you this story is because I know that anyone here who gets any ideas about removing St. Peter again will have a very difficult time because he has been firmly bolted and glued in place. Anyway, my memories of St. Peter's are wonderful. I'm grateful for the time that you spent forming me, the time that we had together, the opportunity to develop a youth program, which I'm thrilled continues to this day.